This week on the Austin Healey channel, the wheels come off, the rotisserie goes on, and things start getting flipping weird. So I brought it home on Valentine's Day, lucky me, and it's basically sat here ever since. The idea was that I'd get the Sprite project up and running really quick and get it out and start driving it. Then lockdown happened and all the project schedule was thrown up into the air. So now I have the Sprite back together and off to the side, and I'm ready to pull this off and really start making some serious headway on it. What I'm going to do first is take the tarp off, check out the condition, and shoot some video for the before and after. That ended up being a lot more work than I thought. Going up and down ladders, I haven't done it in a long time. But I'm happy with the results. You notice I have two little hooks left here and here. When I take the front tires off, I'm gonna throw them up there too. The back tires will stay on the differential because it makes it easier to roll around in the shop. But the front tires have no home, so they'll go up there. Then it'll look like a complete car. So I'm not entirely sure what to show you next. I have all this junk in the trunk, in the boot, junk in the trunk, and in the passenger's compartment. If I unpack it and show you every little detail, it's gonna take forever, it's gonna be really boring. Lots of the stuff is supposed to have come off this car. Some of it I know it hasn't because there's like 4 shock absorbers, the Armstrong ones. So I know those didn't come off. The fronts still have theirs. So I think I might just unpack it all and we can go through it as we need later on. Having a look at the dipstick. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a little bit low, so I'm gonna add some oil to it. As I put it in through the top, it'll feed down all over all the working bits. That'll help in case there's any dry spots from it sitting so long. Let's play with some electricity. See if we can get the engine to crank over. Well, it moved. Not bad work for the day. We've gotten the engine turning over, and we've got spark on all 4 plugs. I just showed you the spark on one. The next step will be to add some gas to it and see if we can get it to really kick over. But it's late in the day. I don't feel like playing with that, so we'll do it tomorrow. What I haven't done yet is told you exactly what this car is. It's a 1954 BN1, and it's very special. It's one of only 300 made that was in a special coronet cream color. This special edition color was put out for the celebration of Queen Elizabeth's coronation. I've checked all the numbers, and it's matching numbers. The engine, transmission, and body all line up with the heritage certificate. Originally it was this coronet cream color with a red interior. My plan is to restore it to this original color combination. So last week was all about bleeding the clutch on the Sprite. I think that was last week. It feels like forever ago. I guess I've already switched gears. So we were trying to bleed the clutch forever. I know I'm not gonna have a problem on this car bleeding the clutch, because it's non-hydraulic. It's just manual. There's a lever that goes into here, and it just pushes it forward. I can't feel it doing anything, so we'll have to check that out further, but I know I won't have to bleed it. So as you saw earlier, I was trying to get it started, and I didn't get it to the point where it would spit and at least attempt to go. I was jumping it using the battery from the season 1, and it would crank over, but it was slow. Even with the full charge on the battery, it was still not spinning fast enough to crank over. So to try to fire. So there's a couple things I'll have to check out later on. Either the starter's just really old and not working well enough. It was drawing a lot of amps. I did check the compression. There's a lot of compression, and it does look like all the valves are moving up and down. So it's not just a matter of of the valves being stuck. And I also, the other thing I can check is to go inside and see if there's anything that's tight or rusted together or bound anyway. But I was able to turn it over by hand, and I was able to turn it over really easy without the spark plugs out. So it's something about when the power's there, when you need a lot of force to push it through. Anyway, so I without being able to start it up, I went ahead and pulled it out. It was encouraging that it turned. I wanted to show a few of the things down here. Any idea what we're looking at here? This is the clutch pedal. See if I can operate it and the camera at the same time. The brake pedal is here, which pushes the master cylinder, which is here, behind there. I think it's seen better days. There's a few wires that have made it to present day, but somebody's electric taped some of them. In my testing, I couldn't get the starter solenoid to work. Up there, that's for the overdrive. It's a relay switch. It has one canister up there for hydraulic oil for the brakes. Here's the switch, or the diverter. Not a whole lot of stuff that's been left on the car, but I knew that when I bought it. See the routing of these wires. They go up there. I've got a lot of work to do. So here's the passenger side. I went to check to see if the kingpin was tight, and got some movement. I don't know if you can see that very well on the camera. I think all of these spokes are broken. It's almost like we were just doing this to the Sprite. Taking off the big springs, I've taken a bolt off each side and put in this longer bolt, and now I'm going to take off the other bolts to then the tension will be on the long bolts, and I'll slowly let those out, and it'll come down slow and safe and gentle. Last two are rusted on there pretty good. So now I'm gonna loosen these longer bolts, and it'll loosen the tension on the spring and it'll come out. So the plan is to start taking these arms off. I've been scraping the grease out of these. There appears to be no, they're castellated nuts and they're supposed to have a cotter pin in them, but there appears to be no cotter pin. Kind of funny. It stopped for some tea. This is slow, hard, very hard work. The steering column here is, I got the nuts off the back of the bolts, but they pass through a spacer that's aluminum, and that always binds up. The one on the other side for the idler came off. Well, the bolt turned out all the way, but the idler came off. So the next step I'm going to try to do is heat up the spacer, try to break the bolts free. That was easy. I just wanted to make a quick note on where this bracket was bolted. I've loosened this and this. It's the fourth one down, and it has this wiring loop on it. That'll help when I put it back in. Some of these come out really well. Some need a little persuasion, and some are just a pain in the ass. Here's a quick tip. If you need extra leverage on a rusty bolt, you can take another wrench and add it to the end to give you that extra leverage to get it moving. Deep down in here is the brake line. And this makes me feel like an old-time criminal. And with that, I think the rear axle is ready to come out. So this is my method for pulling out the differential single-handedly. I have the jack stand under it, which is sitting on the trolley, and it all strapped together so it doesn't come apart as I'm scooting it from the other side. On the season 1, I had to take out the gears, the gear part of the differential because it was too big to fit through the opening, but this appears to be the right size, so with any luck I can just push it and it'll come out. watch these videos with my wife to show her what I've been doing at work. And often we'll have to pause it and I'll explain to her what something is or what that word I used was. And so I thought I would start a new segment to explain to everybody what some of these funny words are. We're going to call that segment Say What? To start with, we're going to talk about these. I grew up saying quarter panel. I think this comes from talking about animals. You have hind quarter or front quarter. Anyway, quarter panels. They're also called fenders, but not the guitar. That's something different. And to really confuse you, the British use a completely different word. Wing. Yes, they call it a wing. It's not an airplane, it doesn't fly, yet it has wings. So you have three words to describe the same thing: wing, quarter panel, and fender.
If you want to come along on the ride as we complete this project, click the subscribe button. If you want YouTube to tell you every time there's a new video, click the alarm bell. Thanks for watching, and your support is very much appreciated.